I have the gorgeous new Harvest of Souls palette from Fantasy Cosmetica to show you. So I'm going to do 2 looks, show you guys swatches, all of the things. So if that sounds good to you, just keep watching. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do post quite often, so highly recommend subscribing, turning on the bell so you're notified every time I post. And without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm super excited for this palette, you guys. The color story is simply phenomenal. I did film some close-ups of the packaging and all of the beautiful shades as well. So let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll tell you a few details about this launch. Once a mortal sorcerer and queen, Asteria forsook life and bound her soul to a phylactery through dark magic. For centuries, she has existed in undeath, driven by an insatiable thirst for power and the souls of the living, if only to stave off inevitable madness. This collection's launching on October 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and the palette will retail for $55. There are 2 candles in this collection. They will be $58 for both, or $30 each. I decided to skip the candles because I have one, and they also said that the candles were going to be very limited, so I decided to pass on them. But we have Lingering Souls, spiced tangy apple and orange with a little smoky earth nuance. That's probably the one I would have been most interested in. And then we have Dark Secrets, which is a cherry and blueberry accented with a little warm baked goods scent. And then you can get the full collection for $110 with free shipping in the US. And I'm so excited for this launch because I think this is one of the best color stories Fantasy Cosmetica has done. If you know anything about my makeup style, I feel like you will totally understand why I'm saying that. The metallics are beautiful. The mattes are so pigmented. They built up so nicely. I've already done 1 look with the palette, so I'm about to attempt a second look with this one, and I cannot wait. I think you can really break this color story into quads, which is how I swatched it. So I swatched it 4 at a time, and it's just a really interesting layout if you look at it that way. But also you can rearrange the shades however you want in your head and do looks however you want. But that's just how I decided to swatch it because I thought that would look really nice together. So let me know your thoughts on that. And let's go ahead and get into the first look with this palette. Okay, I'm filming the first look with this palette, and I'm going to do the more toned down look today. It was kind of inspired by the shirt I have on, even though this wasn't really planned, but I feel like I want to play with the mauve shades, so that's what we're going to do first. Okay, so I'm going to take this cute brush from Singe. This is the EO2, and I'm going to go into this shade called Ancient. It's like a cool tone purpley shade, and I thought that would be a great crease color for me in this look. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of place it right here in the middle and just like windshield wiper motion back and forth. Of course, my cat started meowing right when I started filming this video. Of course, she's been quiet literally this whole time. Okay, that's super cute. And then I want to go in with the shade Sacrifice because it's a really pretty kind of like purpley pink shade, and we're just going to place that kind of on the outer corner of the eye look. Sephora! This shade is so beautiful, and it's like blending great, but it's also like layering great, and it's giving this eye look so much depth. I am a little bit in love with this color. It's such a deep plum, but it's also like shearing out nicely where I need it to. I think I could sit here and just like do this all day with this color. Anyway, okay, I'm going to take this shade called Patience, and I'm going to try and build that up a little bit on the inner portion of the crease just to kind of lighten things up here a little bit. Looks like I had a little bit of Sacrifice left on the brush, so it's kind of overlapping here, but that's okay. This shade right here called Eternal is like a really pretty taupey purpley brown color, and then this shade called Ensnare is a really pretty purple pink shade. And I was thinking I would use the first shade, but I also thought this was so pretty when I swatched it, and I thought it would pair so well with this shirt I have on, which is just a Barbie shirt, but I just thought it would be really fun to do something pink. So it's going to be a little bit over the top, even though this is supposed to be my more like everyday neutral look. It's not going to be. I think that would be impossible with this palette because the color story is so intense and beautiful and just jewel tone. And honestly, like if I was to make a palette, I would want to create this color story. It's so pretty. I love the tones. I do. I've been trying so hard not to touch this mirror, but I can see it's smudged from my setting spray. My gosh. Okay, this is a pretty like duochrome shade. So it has like a beautiful blue flip to it. It doesn't seem to have much of a base shade though, so keep that in mind. You definitely want to bring your eyeshadow onto your lid, otherwise it's looking a little bit more sheer. Okay, that is so pretty. It's like so understated, but also beautiful. I guess I could try and see if I can, oh yeah, okay. I was gonna say, let me try my finger and see if I can get the shadow to kind of build up a little bit more. It definitely shears out with the brush, but it's one of those beautiful shades that I think you could even throw on just all over the lid and have like a one and done look. So I'm gonna quickly line the waterline and finish up this makeup look. I used one of the liners from Clionadh, and let me tell you, I think mine are definitely starting to show their age because I had to do a lot to build this purple up in my waterline, but I wanted to use a colorful eyeliner just to help the makeup pop a little bit. But I'm going to take my little pencil brush from Sigma and I'm going to go into this dark blue shade. I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit because I always usually go in with the same shades I used on the crease, but I thought that it would be kind of fun to incorporate this blue. So I would ideally like to do, honestly, like 3 or 4 looks with this palette. I don't know if I'm going to have time because I didn't film on the weekend. I typically don't because it's usually us running around with the kiddos. And then I don't have as much time, and this is getting revealed soon, so I want to have my video ready to go when the palette is announced. So hopefully I can at least get 2 looks, but I would love to do 3. We'll see. I guess you guys will know when you watch this video. I thought it would be fun to use the blue just to give a nice pop on the lower lash line. And I'm still going to take Sacrifice, which is the shade I used on the outer corner, and just run it from the bottom to the outer corner just a little bit, just to give it that little bit of cohesion. And then for the inner corner, I think that this shade shouldn't be too dark. I think I'm going to pop just a little bit of the shade Souls on the inner corner. And hopefully you guys will be able to see that in the look. That's so cute. It's like a little bit of a blue purple green duochrome, so it's giving a nice little pop there as well. Okay, so that's cute. I like it. It's fun. Hopefully you guys like the look too. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look. Okay friends, so here is the finished look. What do you guys think? Definitely vote for your favorite look in the comments. Of course, after you're done watching this video. But let me tell you really quick, everything on my face in case you want to try and recreate this look. So I actually used quite a few products this time around, so I'm very excited. Some of you did ask me what my current favorite setting spray was, and I don't really ever talk about it, but I got the All Nighter Hyaluronic Acid Watermelon Fruit Extract setting spray sent to me from Urban Decay, and I really like this. I think I like it even more than the original All Nighter. I feel like it gives me a little bit of a glow, nothing over the top, but I like the finish of it. and I like the fragrance, and it's just a really nice setting spray. So I've been enjoying this very much. It's something I wouldn't have bought with my own money because I'm trying not to buy a ton of setting sprays because I have a ton to use up. But I'm so glad I have it, and once I'm done finishing up some of my setting sprays, I could definitely see myself repurchasing this one. I also use the Fantasy Cosmetica highlighter palette. I kind of mixed all three of these shades because I don't really love any of these shades in particular because they're very pink and very purple, but mixed together, I think I was able to kind of come up with a shade I really like. Definitely not a highlighter palette for the faint of heart, but I wanted to feature some other Fantasy Cosmetica products in this video as well. And then for lip, I have on two products. I have on the Hourglass lip product. I've been loving this shade. It's called Rouse, and I bought the holiday set last year. These lipsticks are so underrated. I've seen a few people talk about them, but definitely not enough people. It has like a beautiful hint of color and a beautiful glossy look. And then I actually went on top with this shade in Hidden. This is from the Fantasy Cosmetica Lost Libraries collection. They had like 7 lip products or lipsticks that they came out with. I chose a couple of them, and this is one of my favorite shades. It's like a pretty mauvey brown color, so I love that. And then for bronzer today, I bought this one out from my Shop My Stash. This is the Ambient Lighting Bronze in the shade Radiant Bronze Light. This is such a pretty bronzer, and then I of course use my Rare Beauty bronzer stick in Always Sunny because I love to have a cream and a powder bronzer. Okay, for concealer today, I remember to use my Huda color corrector. Sometimes I don't, it's just preference. And then I used a little bit of the Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint Hydrating Foundation Stick from Charlotte Tilbury, just on the high points of my face. I use the Fenty, oh my gosh, what's this called? It's the Easy Drops Blur Smooth Tint Stick in the shade 14 and the Live Tinted Concealer in the shade 11. The Charlotte Tilbury I have in shade 9, and then the Huda Beauty color corrector is the shade Mango. So in case we have a similar complexion, I just gave you all the shades that I have in these products. And then I wanted to try this out, and I was having a bad weekend, and I was like, let me just buy a little something. And Live Tinted came out with these Hue Glow Blush Crush blushes. They're liquid blushes, and this shade is so pretty. It's called Emotionally Unavailable, and it's a really pretty nude brown. They have 4 shades. There's another kind of terracotta shade that I really liked, but I picked this one because I was curious. This is very pigmented. I just used a little bit. I actually filmed it for a reel, so I'll have that go up on Instagram. And then last but certainly not least, a new product that I tried was the Creaseless Setting Powder in the shade Lavender from Tarte. I've heard a few people talk about this for olive undertones, so I was curious about it, and I picked it up because it was part of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty end of the sale, so I grabbed it. But I really like how this look turned out. Sorry, my phone keeps vibrating. Super duper annoying, but I really like how this look turned out. So now let's go ahead and get into another look with this palette. Okay, so it's time for the more colorful look, I guess. I don't know. This palette is pretty full of color, so even my more everyday kind of version of the look I felt like still looked very colorful. So I think that whole theory works most often, but not always. Anyways, I've been just really wanting to play with this quad right here. I just feel like those colors are chef's kiss. I love dirty baby pukey colors like this with burgundy shades, so I think that's gonna be a really beautiful look. Okay, so I'm gonna take my favorite Unearthly brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Ambition. That shade's not dark enough. I'm gonna have to go into Lich. There we go, to create that look. I'm telling you, these mattes are so good. I'm like, wait, I mean, Fantasy Cosmetica has always made good eyeshadow, but this is like good. Okay, so I just use that kind of to like lay down the first shades so that I can work off of that. And then I'm gonna grab a brush. I think this is Blend Bunny, and gonna go into Ambition, and I'm gonna start blending out that shade with ambition. This might be a process. We might be here for a while. I'm just building these up. I am thinking of everybody in Florida right now, and I was trying to think in my head what we could do to support creators that are affected. And I'm thinking what would be really cool is that if you can think of creators that are in Florida or are, of course, evacuating from Florida, just drop their names in the comments. And then if we could just watch their videos, play their videos, even if you're just like at home and you have access to a computer, if you can just play their videos, even on silent, just so they can make extra ad revenue, I think that would be awesome. Just an awesome way to support them a little bit extra, especially if they're gonna need to rebuild or replace things that might end up being damaged. Please, please, please drop your favorite Florida YouTubers or anybody that's been affected by these storms. Just let us know in the comments and we can go watch their channels and like support them a little bit extra just to help out any way we can, because YouTubers do get paid on views, and so I think that would be a good way for them to make some extra income on their AdSense if you guys watch their videos. I know there's also a lot of brands that have been affected by the weather, so let me know. I know Unearthly, I don't think they ship out of Florida though, so just let me know any other brands that you can think of that have been affected by the recent storms so that we can support extra. I just used the shade called Necromancer. It's the dark green. It wasn't part of the plan, but I really just wanted to add some more kind of depth to the outer corner. So I threw a little bit of green in there as well, which was definitely not the plan, but it happens, it happens. I'm just gonna put a lot of that like chartreusey color on the lid. Okay, I think the mattes look pretty good. I'm gonna take the shade called Schemes and I'm gonna put that on the lid. I think this is gonna be a shade that doesn't have a lot of base to it, so I might also add another shimmer shade because there's another one I'm eyeing, but let's see how this looks on the lid. That is a pretty sparkly green though. Ah! No. I don't think I've ever done that. Now I've got a random patch of green eyeshadow on my face. Like, that is so not fair. I wonder if I have some tape that I can use to like pick that up, because I think that's like a life hack, right? Of how to get eyeshadow off that you didn't want to be on your face like that. Oh my goodness, this is such a pretty sparkly color. Okay, so right now this is just a green eye look. I want to add a little bit of Sacrifice on the outer corner, so that'll probably give it a little bit more pop, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to go into Sacrifice, which is this really pretty plummy color. And I'm just going to add that right here on the edge on top of the green. I feel like that green is like so vibrant. I don't know that the purple is really doing much to hurt it, so I think I'll just leave it because it's not doing much. So I'll take the shade Obsession, I think is what it's called, and that just looks like a really pretty like holo shade, and I'm just gonna pop that on top of the green. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Okay, well, all of a sudden I have a green eye look going, and I was gonna do this quad, but I also popped into that lower half, and I'm digging it, except for this random little spot on my face where the eyeshadow brush fell. So let me line the lower lash line quick so we can finish up this look. You guys know anytime I do a green look, I love these Natasha Denona eyeliners. This is from the Yucca collection, and the shade is, I should know these by now, but I think it's Willow. Yeah, so good. Also, in case you didn't know this about me, I do have a Natasha Denona website affiliate code, so you can use my code KHMAKEUP anytime you shop on the Natasha Denona website, which is pretty cool, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go into the shade Sacrifice, and I'm gonna pull that onto the lower lash line with my Unearthly brush. Try and get some of that plum shade into this look down here at least. Okay, I think that looks super dramatic and I love it. And then I'm just gonna take a pencil brush and I'm gonna go into the shade called Poison right here. It's a really pretty pastel-y green. Kind of reminds me of the shade that I saw in the Nomad palette, the Chicago Speakeasy one called Green Mill. And it's just like perfect for making my inner corner super poppy. So I'm just gonna really go overboard with that shade all over the inner corner. Oh, that color is, you know, when I saw it in the Nomad palette, I was like, yeah. But now, second pistachio pastel green, and I love it. I feel like this is the new matte inner corner white shade, but it's a green and I'm here for it and it looks really good with my skin tone. So I love it. The look is done. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this look. I'm not going to change the hair, and yes, I'm going to keep on my bluey shirt. My hair is so dirty, you guys. Totally needs to be washed, but it's okay. The eye look should distract plenty, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to justify the fact that I haven't washed my hair. Anyways, okay, I'll be right back. Okay, friends, so here is the finished look. What do you think? Definitely let me know which one is your favorite. Leave a green emoji if you like this one, or leave a purple emoji if you like the first look. I always love to hear what you guys think. Now let me tell you really quick what else is on my face today in case you are interested in recreating the look. First of all, I decided to grab my Adept Unity Face Palette and I used the shade Duality 1 and Orange Pearl and a little bit of this one too. I just kind of mixed all of those shades together to make a blush because I thought that would be fun. And then for bronzer, I'm wearing the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Deep Bronze and the e.l.f. bronzer in the shade, I have no idea. It's their Luminous Putty Bronzer. And I haven't used this in forever, so I thought I would. It's okay, you know, it's nothing too crazy, but it's fine. And then lip combo is the same as the last video. I really like this lipstick from Hourglass, and I just topped it a little bit with the shade Hidden from Fantasy Cosmetica. So beautiful. I love how glossy these Hourglass lipsticks are. They're not sticky, but they just look so juicy and luscious, and they look really pretty on their own as well. Highlighter is the Juicy Highlighter from Clionadh. For foundation today, I decided to use my Valentino foundation in the shade MA5 and my LYS concealer. And I also did use a little bit of this Tarte powder. I think this is a nice powder. It really like goes on beautifully, so I'll have to wear it some more, but those are all the things I use to create this look. Let's go ahead and chat about the Harvest of Souls palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. I have had such a good time playing with this palette. I think this is my favorite color story they've ever done. I know all of their color stories are so beautiful, but just with my taste currently and it being fall, I think this is just the vibes are vibing with this palette. I think the formula is really good too. I feel like it's a little bit more opaque when it comes to the mattes. I feel like they built up so nicely. And look at how like deep and rich those greens and purples are together. So I really love that. The shimmers are chef's kiss. Just so sparkly and beautiful. And I love that minty green on the inner corner. So everything's working out for me in this palette. It's arranged to me like these quads just work so well together. So you can just go to the quad and create a beautiful eye look. You can also probably work with them this way, but I just feel like the quads have such interesting color stories. So that's really fun. I'm really enjoying this palette. I don't even know what else I can say about it. I don't really know much about the reference when it comes to what this palette is based off of, but as somebody who loves indie eyeshadow palettes, I really am enjoying this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the two looks. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I will do my best to help you guys out if you have any questions. This palette is launching on the 15th of October at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 11 a.m. Central Time. And I do have a discount code with Fantasy Cosmetica. It's KHMAKEUP. It doesn't cost you anything to use a code, so definitely use a code, save some money. I will make a commission on that, and I'm super appreciative anytime you guys use my links and codes to shop. I'll try and remember to link as much as I can in the bottom of this video. Sometimes I do have YouTube shop links as well. They like pop up. I don't even know exactly how all that works, but those aren't ads in case you think they are. It's not an ad, it's just YouTube shop. I think they're trying to be like TikTok. I'm not really sure. So anytime you use any of those things, I am super duper appreciative. I also have my monthly giveaway link down below. You guys can enter, and I send somebody a box of goodies every month. So feel free to enter. I will chat to you guys in another video very, very soon. I hope you guys are having a great day. Bye for now.